Hello friends, welcome to another chair yoga video. I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Today's practice is all about paying attention to the breath. We know that the breath can energize us. We know that the breath can calm us, and the breath can strengthen us as well. So we're going to play with that today. As always, when we work with the breath, we don't want to overdo. If we start to feel dizzy, nauseous, lightheaded, whatever, just stop and return to your regular breathing pattern. But we're going to try a lot of different things today, so you might find something that works for you. All we need is our chair, perhaps something to connect our feet to the floor with, and we'll be ready for yoga. We'll start our practice as we always do. We're going to sit back in our chair. We'll connect our feet to the floor with yoga blocks, with a rolled up blanket, a cushion, whatever it is, so that your feet are connected to the earth. We'll turn the palms down in the lap. We'll soften or close the eyes, whatever feels good to you today. And the first thing that we'll do is we'll pay attention to our breath. Pay attention to it without judging it or changing it. Just notice what it's like right now. Does it feel smooth or ragged? Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is one nostril more open than the other? Just kind of tuning into all of that information. Notice where you experience it, whether it's the nose, the throat, the chest, the belly. Notice where you feel the breath the most. And then we'll work to smooth and even out the breath. And as you work to come to a smoother breath, take a moment to check in with the physical body and how it feels today. Notice any areas that might need our special attention, our special care, because we never want to cause harm in our yoga practice. Now let's bring our attention back to our breath. What's it like now? Have we been able to make it any smoother? Perhaps lengthening the breath, the inhales and the exhales. Then we'll stack those palms at heart center and take a moment right now to set an intention for this practice, which might be that idea of pay attention, or it might be anything else that's important to you. We'll release those hands back down to the lap. We'll gently blink open the eyes if they're closed. And then we'll move to the edge of the chair, connecting our feet directly to the floor now. So I'm moving my blocks out of the way. I'm connecting my feet directly to the floor. And I'm sitting up tall, pushing down into my feet, pushing down into the sitting bones so that my crown of my head is reaching for the ceiling. And then we'll get started. Let's release our arms alongside the body. And we're going to take 3 easy sun breaths. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. You might want to look up. And exhale, float the arms back down by your side. So this gives us the opportunity to smooth out and lengthen that breath. Last one. And then pause when you finish this exhale. Let the hands rest in your lap. And notice changes in the way you feel just because of those 3 easy breaths. Now we're going to start to manipulate the breath a little bit. And what we'll do is we'll break that inhale into 3 parts. So we're going to inhale a little bit, we'll pause there, and then we're going to inhale a little bit more and pause there, and then we'll inhale completely. Pause there. Exhale all the way. And we'll add arms to it too, bringing our hands a third of the way, and then all of the way up. Take your time. See how it works for you. So we'll inhale a third of the way. Pause. Inhale another third. Arms lift another third. Pause. Inhale all the way completely. And then exhale, release everything. Let the arms come back down. So it's a complete exhale. Now just take a normal breath. And we're going to try that again. So now that we know what to do, perhaps it'll be a little easier. We're sitting up tall. Let's take a free inhale. A complete exhale. And then let's try again. Inhale a third of the way and pause. Inhale another third, pause. Inhale completely, pause. Exhale, release everything, release the breath, let the arms come all the way back down. Pause for a moment. Notice how you feel. You might feel a little energy, a little bubbling energy happening. Check in. We're going to do it one last time. Let's take a free inhale. Complete exhale, using those abdominal muscles to help us exhale. And then here we go. Inhale a third of the way. Pause, don't clench. Inhale another third. Pause. Inhale completely. Pause. Exhale completely, floating the arms all the way back down. Let the hands rest in your lap. Maybe take a circle or two with those shoulders. Notice how the energy is right now. So using the breath to energize us really focuses on the inhale. Okay, now let's just start moving those arms around, moving the head and neck. Just some real natural movements. So whatever feels good to you right now, let it be organic. You might want to let the head and neck be a part of it too. I kind of like circling my arms overhead. And I can get the head into that as well. If we're circling or anything that we're doing, if it tends to be unidirectional, make sure you go the other way as well. And then I kind of like doing my floaty arms here to the side, maybe to the front. And then we'll pause and we'll let those hands rest back down in our lap. Notice the energy in the upper body. Yeah. And then we'll bring our hands to our lap. Our feet are underneath our knees, our ankles are underneath our knees. We'll come and do a few rounds of cat and cow. So we'll inhale, fill up the belly, arch the back. We might look up. We're not going to look back, but look up. And then we'll exhale. Again, engage that core round. Drop the chin, separate the shoulder blades. Push into the feet. Let's go again. And round. And inhale, fill up. And exhale, round. Okay, last one. And then we'll come back to stillness, sitting up tall. Let's release that right arm down alongside the body. We're going to come back to that third, a third breath. But this time I'd like us to think about it as we inhale a third of the way, we're filling up the chest. The second third will fill up the ribs. And by the time we complete that breath, we fill up the entire torso. So let's give that a try. With our right arm, let's take a free inhale. Exhale completely. And then we're going to inhale a third of the way, filling up the chest, and pause. Fill up the rib cage. Pause. Fill up the entire torso. Pause. Float the arm all the way back down. Let's try that again. Chest. Pause. Rib cage. Pause. Torso. Pause. Exhale completely, float the arm down. Free breath. Okay, we're going to try it one last time. Inhale the chest. Pause. Rib cage. almost like you're still breathing in all the way. Exhale completely. Take a free breath. Now this time, let's just inhale, take that arm all the way up. We'll stay here, maybe lean over a little bit to the left, breathing into the right side of the rib cage. Expanding that space between the ribs. And then float that arm all the way back down and into the lap. Perhaps noticing the difference between the sides now. And you know that we're going to have to do the left side. So I've got my right hand on my right thigh. I'm going to release my left arm down alongside the body. And we're going to do that 3-part breath again, filling up chest, ribs, belly, so that the whole torso, by the time we're done inhaling, the whole torso is full of breath. Okay, take an inhale. Exhale completely. And then we'll inhale into the chest. Lift the arm a third of the way. Pause. Inhale, rib cage. Pause. Inhale, the whole torso. Pause. Exhale completely. Arm floats down. Take a free breath in. And exhale completely. And now we'll do it again. So we'll inhale a third. Pause. 2/3, rib cage. Pause. Whole torso. Pause. Exhale completely. Take a free breath. Last one. Inhale the chest. Pause. Inhale, fill up the rib cage. Pause. Inhale the whole torso. Pause. Exhale completely. Float that arm down. Take a free breath. And then we'll take that left arm up on our next inhale, all the way up. Stay here, perhaps lean a little bit to your right, breathing into the left side of the rib cage. You can keep your head neutral, you can look down, you might want to look up. That's up to you. And then we'll float that arm back down. Let's put both hands in our laps. Check in with those sensations in the left side of the body now. And then we'll release the hands down alongside the body. We're going to take 3 more easy sun breaths, just like we started. So we'll inhale, circle and sweep the arms up. Perhaps look up. And exhale, float those arms back down. Smooth, even breaths. Notice how the breath has changed since we started. Last one. And then let the hands rest in your lap. Now we're going to make our way to standing. So you might want to step your feet a little closer in, start to shift your weight, push into the feet. We make our way to standing, and we're ready now for the next round. Once we've come to standing, we have lots of options for support. We can be standing behind the chair and use the back for our fingertip control. Or for this first sequence, we might want the wall behind us to help us with balance. That's another option. But the first thing we're going to do is come to our moving mountain. We've done this before. When we inhale, we lift up onto our toes, lifting our heels, and then as we exhale, we lower down. So let's give that a try. Feet are straight ahead. We're in our mountain pose. Our feet are about 1 fist distance apart. And as we inhale, we'll circle and sweep the arms up, lifting up the heels. Come on up on the inhale, and as we exhale, we'll float the arms down very carefully with control, lower the heels. There we go. So that's our moving mountain pose. Now, again, we're paying attention to the breath today. So what we're going to do is break apart moving mountain into 5 pieces. and do one breath at each piece. So this is going to help build strength and also energize us. Let's give it a try. So as we move through our moving mountain, we're going to move 20% at a time. So our arms are going to circle up 20% at a time, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And our heels are going to lift 20% at a time. So if this is 100%, you want to make sure you can find all of those little increments, okay? And then once we get to the top and our heels are lifted and our arms are up, could be a cactus, could be overhead, we're going to exhale completely, one complete exhale. Let's give it a try. Take an inhale and an exhale. And here we go. Let's inhale 20% of the movement. Stay here for a complete exhale. So we have a complete inhale at the 40% mark, arms and feet. Complete exhale. Use those abdominal muscles to help you balance. Moving arms and feet to 60%. Inhale completely. Exhale completely. Moving to the 80% mark. And then 100%, maybe palms touch. And exhale all the way back down with control. Take a free breath. We're going to do it again. When you're ready, inhale and move to the 20% position. Stay for the exhale. Inhale to the 40% position. Stay here. 60%. 80%. All the way up. Float everything back down on the exhale. Land the heels. Let the arms come down. Take a free breath in. And a free breath out. We're going to do it one last time. Inhaling. Smooth exhale. Engage the core on the exhale. Here we are at 40%. 60%. Now your breath might be a little faster or a little slower than mine. That's fine. Coming into that 100% of our lift of hands and legs, arms and legs, and then we'll exhale, come all the way back down. Now let go of that breath. Make a few movements. Come back to mountain. Let's take some fluid movements now. So we'll inhale, circle up all the way, lift up the heels. And as we exhale, we'll float everything back down. Let's try that again. Inhale, circle, sweep. How much easier this feels when we don't break it down. Exhale, lower. Last one. You can see why this might be easier against a wall with the balance. Now pause here. Make any movements you need. And we're going to move to Warrior One now. So I would like us to face the seat of the chair. Facing the seat of the chair, making sure that your workspace is clear. So you might walk around your chair, that's fine. I just moved mine so that the camera would catch it a little better. And we're gonna step, let's step our right foot forward. So I've got my right foot so that my ankle's kind of underneath my chair, so that when I bend my knee, yeah, now you can see it. When I bend my knee's over my ankle, and that's as far as my knee can bend. So now I'm gonna straighten that leg. Stand up tall, so I'm square to my chair, shoulders are over hips, and we're gonna move into Warrior One. So when I bend that knee and it hits the chair, that's Warrior One. But I'm gonna break it down into 5 parts. So from here to there, I've gotta make these 5 little movements. And I'm gonna use the arms as well, just as we did before. Now, just need to be aware that we need enough space to get there in 5 breaths, okay? When you're ready, take a free breath in and a free breath out. And now let's inhale completely, but move 20% of our way to Warrior One. Stay here for the exhale. 40% of the way. Stay for the exhale. 60%. 80%. And now here I am, my knees touching the chair, my arms are overhead, and I'll float the arms down, straighten the leg. Now let's just do 2 smooth ones here. Inhale, circle up, bend the knee. You might look up. Exhale, float back down. Try it again. And this time, we'll circle the arms up, bend the knee into our Warrior One, stay here. With the option to interlace those fingers, keeping thumb and pointer long, coming into a single pointed focus mudra. Now you might be here or you might have hands apart. It's okay. Both are good. Breathe here. Smooth breaths. Now let's keep our legs as they are. Float the arms down. Staying in your Warrior One legs. Let's inhale, float the arms up a little bit. And as we exhale, we're going to straighten the legs and fold to the seat of the chair. So here I have my hands on the seat of the chair. As I inhale, I want to get longer in my spine, lengthening my spine, straightening my legs. And as I exhale, I can soften those knees a little bit, let the head hang, soften elbows. Try it again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Last one. This time we'll soften. We'll stay in this fold for a few breaths, noticing sensation in the right hamstring. And then we'll straighten the arms and lift up again. Let's take an inhale here. As we exhale, engage those abdominal muscles. Pull them back to support the spine. Keep them there. Soften into the knee as we inhale and come on back up to standing. Step your back foot forward. Pause and take a breath and notice all of the sensations in the body. Notice what the energy level is like as well. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So it's going to be left foot forward, right foot back. I've got my foot kind of underneath my chair so that when I bend my knee, you see that it's right over my ankle. You see that there. My hips are square, looking at the chair. My back heel is down. Actually, my back toes are pointing to that front edge of my mat. So they're at a little angle so that my hips feel good here. I know I've got to chunk this movement into 5 pieces. It's going to be small movements. And see, this helps build strength because we're staying in positions that we don't normally hang out in. Let's take a free breath in. And a free breath out. We'll turn our palms forward. Now we're going to inhale completely, but move to 20%. Stay for the exhale. Crown of the head reaches for the ceiling. Inhale to the 40% point. And exhale. 60%. Complete exhale. Complete inhale to the 80% mark. I'm getting close to the chair. Exhale. All the way to our 100% mark. And then exhale, completely float the arms down, straighten the leg. Now let's take 2 smooth movements here. Inhale, circle up. The knee bends, and we float back down. Try it again. Now we'll come into our pose, our Warrior One. We'll stay here. The front knee is bent. We can interlace fingers over the head if we like. Come into cactus arms, breathing here. You might decide to look up or straight ahead. Now keep the legs as they are, float the arms down. Let's inhale and prepare. And as we exhale, we'll straighten the leg and come down into this fold. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, straightening the legs. Exhaling, softening elbows, knees, neck. Try it again. This last one. And as we soften here, we're going to hang out here in this little fold. Tuning into sensations in the left hamstring. Now, we will inhale and straighten the arms, lifting our body up. As we exhale, let's engage that core. And then on our next inhale, keep that core engaged, soften the front knee, let's float the arms up. We'll step that back foot forward. Pause and check in with sensations in the body. So much to notice. Okay, now we will move to a warrior two. I'm going to move this chair a little bit off my mat so that you have a better view of me. We're going to take a wide stance and we'll turn our right toes out to the right, left toes in slightly. Once we've found our warrior two, our shoulders are over our hips. My body is square to this wide edge of my mat. Then I can add my arms in. I'm going to turn my head and look over middle finger of my right hand. Now, we've been doing a lot of movement with the breath, but right now we're going to stay in stillness, and I'm using air quotes here, and just pay attention to where you notice that breath. Do you notice it in the chest? Maybe the rib cage, the belly. I mean, we've been there already. You might notice the breath moving your shoulders a little bit. So let's pay attention to that for about 5 more seconds. And then we'll float the arms down, straighten the leg, we'll turn toes straight ahead. Pause. And then we'll go to the other side. So left toes out to the left, right toes in slightly. My knee bends over that front ankle. I add my arms when I'm ready. And I turn my head and look gently over middle finger of left hand. So here we are. Notice where you're experiencing the breath. So even though we're not making any deliberate movements, stuff's moving. Tune in and notice that. We'll be here for about 5 more seconds. Float the arms down. Straighten the leg. Turn the toes straight ahead. Let's bring our legs together and just pause and notice how we feel now. Okay. Let's take a slightly wider stance than, slightly wider than mountain pose. So these are my hip bones. My feet are like just right outside the edge of that. Slightly wider. It's maybe 2.5 fists apart. Knees are soft. We're going to bring our focus to the exhale now. As we exhale, we really want to engage these abdominal muscles. So we're going to take an inhale. I'm starting with my right hand. And as we exhale, we're going to engage the abs. And we're going to push like we're pushing something really heavy across. My knees are soft. I have like a soft stance here. And then when I inhale, I'll untwist, let that arm come back, and get ready with the other. So then I exhale again, engaging the core, pushing across, and then I release it. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. The focus is on the exhale now. We're gonna be lengthening that exhale without even thinking about it. When you're ready, let's start with the right hand. Inhale. Exhale, soften, push. Core is engaged. You might feel those muscles working. Inhale, release, get ready the other side, and exhale, push, 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 like you're pushing something very heavy. Inhale, exhale. Keep going, take your time, engage those muscles. Like when I touch my belly as I'm doing that, it's very firm. Push, 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 push. Notice how that exhale is getting a little longer without us really thinking about it, because we're pushing, trying to get that, whatever that barrier is, we're pushing it away from us. We're going to do one more on each side. And then come back to center. You might want to give yourself a little tummy rub there. See how things feel. Notice how the nervous system feels. When we lengthen that exhale, we allow the nervous system to calm down a little bit. See if you notice that. Okay, now one last time we're going to look at the seat of our chair. I'll bring my chair back into the picture here. And we'll come back to mountain pose. We're just going to bring a little symmetry back before we sit in our chair. So finding that length of the spine, crown of the head, reaching for the ceiling. Let's take an inhale here. Maybe arms float up a little bit. And then we're going to exhale, soften into the knees. Let's bring our hands to the seat of the chair. You see that my knees are bent. I'm getting a nice stretch on those glutes. I could stay right here. This is a great place to be. Or I could come down onto forearms. I could stack my hands, my forearms, and put my forehead down. I could put my forehead on the chair. Anywhere that feels good to you. And if you're dealing with dizziness or vertigo, you don't want to drop your head. You can be right here. But wherever we are, pay attention to the breath. Smooth it out. And then we will all make our way to palms on the seat of the chair, spine long. We'll soften into those knees and transfer one hand at a time to each thigh. Push into the feet. Come back up to standing. Maybe do a little wiggle, a little jiggle. And we're ready to sit back down again. So we come back to our chair. Let's sit back in the chair. Let's connect our feet to the floor one last time, whether directly or through a prop. Let the crown of the head reach for the ceiling. Let's turn palms up. Turn palms up. Let the shoulders soften. Let the jaw be soft. Allow your breath to come naturally and notice what it's like now. How has it changed as a result of our practice? Notice what your body's like now compared to when we began our practice. Notice how the nervous system feels now. Are we any closer to a sense of calm? I hope so. So let's stack those palms at heart center. Take a moment to recall that intention that you set at the beginning of our class. And then we'll release those hands back down to the lap. One last time, we'll slide forward into the chair, connecting our feet directly to the floor. Sit up tall. Let's open the arms wide. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, clap them together. Bring those thumbs to heart center. Tuck your chin and thank yourself for taking time out of your busy day to practice yoga. And thank yourself for taking time to pay attention to your breath. As always, thank you for allowing me to guide you. It's an honor to be here with you. Stay well, my friends, and I'll see you again soon.